G'day and welcome back to Project Twin VNT. In the last episode, I sorted the exhaust and the intercooler. In this episode, I'm going to aim the intake pipework at the intercooler and continue with that. Starting by seeing if this bend on the top of the inlet manifold will fit under the bonnet. Nearly, so just a little bit off here and a little bit off here, and we should be golden. Next, tack the run from the outlet of the intercooler to the inlet manifold. I hope I'll actually be able to install this. If I just edit out a lot of struggling, yes, eventually. So I've gone and welded all the way around. On the other side of the engine bay, you might have already noticed that the front turbo can be plumbed up without any welding. But this rear one is going to need an S bend, which I'm going to achieve by splitting this 90 and spinning the bits around. Next, I'd like to show you a new technique of welding that I've been practicing. I think that worked alright. Let's try it again on the other join. There we go. Excellent. Those two on the passenger side came out perfectly parallel. I definitely planned that. We interrupt your regular scheduled fabrication to bring you this braking update. No, not a brake update. Thanks to one eagle-eyed forum member, I've been educated as to what this plug on the bottom of my injector pump does. I assumed it was some sensor that the GQ didn't monitor, but in fact, it's a timing control valve. The correct operation of this valve is essential to the smooth running of the engine, and I don't have an ECU to control it, so I need to sort something out, and I really only have two options. Firstly, I could use this Arduino, I might be saying that wrong, to build essentially a mini ECU and control the valve that way. Or secondly, I could do something I swore I wasn't going to do on this show, and send it away to be worked on by someone else. So that's what I've done. And now the engine bay is even further from being finished than it was before. Right, I've got all the pressure piping out on the bench, and it's time to do a leak test. For that, I'll need some plugs. After welding those on, I'm tapping a 1/4 BSP thread into the end of one of them, and installing an air fitting. Next, I need a bead rolled in the end of these pipes. This one was done properly with a bead roller, which I don't have. I have had success before with a small chisel and a hammer, but it's a little bit barbaric and I think I can do better. Okay, it's only slightly better than the hammer method, but I've done the same to the ends of the intercooler and the piping. So we're ready to pump it up with some air pressure. And go around looking for leaks. And there were some. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've all been filled, and I'm ready to put the intercooler back on the car after installing some pinch weld on these edges. This is the windscreen washer bottle, and since these things came out with the jet on the rear window, it's got two pumps. I don't have a jet on my rear window anymore, and it seems like a waste to not use one of these pumps. The one from the TD42 looks a bit cleaner than mine, so I'll be using that one. And I've also nicked the piping from the windscreen jets. These quarter circle misters are from the garden aisle. I'm going to need to run them to test the spray pattern, so that means I need power to the pump. This battery has just come off the charger. Looks like I need a new battery then. I've got this one just lying around, but it doesn't fit. This is Intercooler Sprayers Take 1. Bit of adjustment required. Better. Whoops. There we go. I'm going to do another test, and this time, to simulate some road speed, I'm going to use a frontal airflow normalizer. So with a little airflow, they're both hitting the center of the grill, and as your speed increases, each jet will spray closer to its respective half. This should give me good coverage over a range of different speeds. Just one more thing before I pop this grill in for the last time. A cooler intercooler is great, but I probably wouldn't have bothered if the effect wouldn't also be shared by the radiator. I think I'll find myself using this more often to cool down the engine than I will to improve performance. Spraying water on something to cool it down takes advantage of the evaporative cooling effect, and one thing to know about that is its effectiveness is less dependent on the ambient air temperature and more on the ambient humidity. When the air is dry, it's extremely effective, and when the air is humid, it has almost no effect at all. So it's a good thing that I don't do most of my driving in a subtropical region. No, wait, that's exactly what I do. That'll do for episode 9. I finished off the pressure side piping and hopefully aided my cooling a little bit. Thanks for watching.